First, this top story, this half an hour, searching for answers in the wake of the Las Vegas massacre. Investigators are still grappling to find a motive as to why Stephen Paddock gunned down 58 people and injured hundreds more at a country music concert on Sunday night.
This individual was premeditated, obviously premeditated. The fact that he had the type of weaponry and amount of weaponry in that room, it was pre-planned extensively, and I'm pretty sure he evaluated everything that he did in his actions, which is troublesome. You know, did this person get radicalized unbeknownst to us? And we want to identify that source.
Now, one of the few people who can shed some light on this case is back in the United States. She landed last night, the gunman's live-in girlfriend. Marilou Danley returned from an overseas trip late last night and landed at LAX. She is expected to face tough questioning today. Joining us right now is Harvard Law professor Emeritus, former criminal defense attorney for O.J. Simpson, and the author of the new book, Trumped Up: Criminalization of Politics Endangers Democracy. Alan Dershowitz is here right now. Alan, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new book. What are your thoughts right here on Danley back? She's going to be questioned today.
Well, the big question is whether or not law enforcement authorities are going to treat her solely as a source of information or as a possible suspect. Is she going to get a lawyer? If she gets a lawyer, are they going to start playing a chess game where she withholds information in order to get something in return? Do they have any leverage over her at this point? Those are the key questions that have to be asked right now.
Well, I mean, isn't it convenient that she went overseas? He sent her to the Philippines. He sent $100,000 to the Philippines. We're trying to figure out if he sent that to her or somebody else. I mean, what about all of this circumstantial evidence around her?
Well, it's very suspicious, but the law enforcement authorities may decide simply not to go that route, not to treat her as a suspect, but to try to find out everything she knows. Once she gets lawyered up, once she thinks of herself as a suspect, she's going to start withholding information. What they need her for now is as a major source of information. Information first, criminal prosecution second. That's the priority.
I think what you said, I'm sorry, what you've said was really key here was, do they have any information to leverage over her at this point? And that's really critical because, again, when you come into an interview like this, you want to do your homework. And they've had some time now to do that homework, to gather what they can that's available out there forensically about the association of her with Paddock.
For example, if he said to her, I want you to go abroad, I'll send you money, I don't want you to know what I'm doing now, that would be one thing. She has to explain her trip. She has to explain the money. But more important, she has to tell them what they discussed together, why he had all the guns, did he have any contact with any foreign sources, all of that. And it's much easier to get that out of her if she doesn't have a lawyer, if she doesn't think of herself as a suspect, if she is simply there to help.
Right. I mean, how important is it following the money? I mean, I think about, you know, she's come over here, she's talking to authorities. How much background have they done on her bank accounts, right? What has she done? Is it just so happened that maybe he used one of her credit cards to buy ammunition? I mean, can you talk about how that forensic accounting is going to play into this?
Oh, clearly. They already have, I'm sure, a great deal of information because that's easily accessible. Bank accounts, wire transfers. What's more important is pillow talk, is what they talked about, what she saw, what she may have suspected. In retrospect, does she now remember things she didn't know then? If she's smart, that's the way she'll phrase it. She won't acknowledge that she suspected or knew anything then, but now with the benefit of hindsight, I remember this, I remember that, he got that strange call. That's what they have to be probing for now.
Does it seem odd to you that they ruled out any ties or links to terrorism so quickly into this?
I think so. I think
it's a little bizarre.
But did they rule it out, or did they simply say they haven't seen evidence of that?
But this guy was obviously trained, 47 guns. I mean, I just...
And look, there are 3 or 4 possible explanations for a guy who has no record at all. He suddenly develops a brain tumor or some a very quick mental illness. But another thing, possibly, is he changes ideology. He becomes something he wasn't. We shouldn't jump to that conclusion, but we shouldn't exclude the possibility that that may exist.
Which is why it was strange that they ruled it out right away. Okay,
but they may have ruled that out to send her a message.
Oh, yeah.
That we're not suspecting that to, it may be a ruse.
Just to get her back to the U.S. so that they can question her. Yeah, that's a really good strategy, actually. Let me ask you this. I want to switch gears. Yesterday marked 22 years since the trial of the century's stunning conclusion. On October 3rd, 1995, jurors acquitted O.J. Simpson for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. Alan, you played such an integral role in this case. The anniversary comes just days after the former NFL star walked out a free man from the Nevada prison where he served 9 years for attempted robbery. What's next for O.J. Simpson?
Well, he's going to try to move back to Florida. That's where he is homesteaded. That's where he has his residence.
Not if Pam Bondi has anything to say about it.
Back there in the worst way. But constitutionally, they can't keep him out of Florida. The Nevada authorities can keep him out of Florida. Under our Constitution, any American citizen has a right to live in any state. But the parole and probation authorities in Nevada can limit his travel. So it's all up to Nevada. Now, Florida will have input in how Nevada decides, but it's all about Nevada.
Wow, interesting. Real quick, the Supreme Court kicked off blockbuster term. Any specific case to watch from your standpoint?
Major case, reapportionment.
They're calling this an epic season.
This is an epic season for two reasons. One, it's probably Kennedy's last season, so probably the last season when there's going to be a liberal-conservative split where he becomes the deciding vote. On reapportionment, he is key because he said in a previous decision, maybe they're going too far. And if he begins to set limits on malapportion, this is a revolution in American politics.
That's the gerrymandering case, but you also got cell phone privacy. You've got the travel ban.
And the cake. And the wedding cake for the gay couple.
That's right.
I mean, that's going to be a big case, too. And we don't know how Kennedy is going to decide that. Kennedy is the Supreme Court for this term. If I were him, I wouldn't resign. My God. He's the most powerful man in America at this point.
What a moment to resign. Alan, good to see you. Thanks for your insights, as always. Alan Dershowitz there. Coming up.